and we're back. My name's Seth from the Lonely Stoners podcast, but this is an episode of Seth's Solo Side Quest. I believe this is Ep.9, and as always, we're going to talk about a wide range of topics. We're going to look at some crypto stuff, some business stuff, and then maybe some sports stuff after. But one thing I wanted to talk about early was sort of pose a question to the audience, to the listener, to the viewer, and what's their thoughts on the crypto Solana. So, I'm very good friends with someone who's a crypto investor, and this guy, I wouldn't say he's a whale, but he's big in the game, a lot of money invested in the game, a lot of experience, seen the ups and downs in the market, and he recently took all of his money out of Solana, and he said that there was due to sort of reports in maybe the legitimacy of Solana in terms of it being used for what it's meant to be used for, and he's saying a lot of the transactions on chain are either illegal or fraudulent transactions, and then a lot of them are made by the Solana Foundation or Solana company that made the crypto. Excuse me. And that makes up a lot of their transactions. And obviously, when they're reporting to potential investors and consumers, they're saying, "Oh, we've had 1 million transactions on chain, or however many," right? But if 60% of those are by them, what is the sort of point? We're just making something for you to trade, and it's not. You know what I mean? It's not really an effective cryptocurrency, and it's not. They're not painting a true picture to consumers and potential investors too, which is a problem. But the crypto markets is more regulated now, but it hasn't been very well regulated. So these guys could basically say whatever they wanted, unless you actually audited their chain, audited the company. You wouldn't really know the ins and outs of it. And even if you did do that, you then have to share that information, and then you're relying on other people finding out that information, reading it, and realizing the same thing you realize, and right, this crypto isn't what it's supposed to be, or it's not all it's cracked up to be. So I say all of that to say, my friend who had a lot of money in Solana heard about these reports, took all of his money out of Solana. But I'm telling him, Solana's one of the most used cryptos at the moment. And he's saying, yeah, obviously the media is telling you that, because that's what Solana's probably telling the media, but he's talking about, the legitimacy of those transactions. Say you make 1 million transactions, if like I said before, 60-70% of them are fraudulent or illegal transactions, then you're not portraying a true picture. But that being said, Solana prices have still been doing pretty well, as far as I know. I haven't seen a major crash yet. I say that maybe by the time I upload this, there would have been a major crash, because that's how quick the crypto markets move. But as of now, there hasn't been anything too crazy in it. But I guess as long as you've got cryptos that are basically like how Michael Saylor had said it, as long as you've got cryptos that are basically unregistered securities and not true cryptocurrencies, true decentralized cryptocurrencies like a Bitcoin, while you have cryptos like Ethereum, Solana, BNB, where they're tied to a corporation, you're always going to potentially have this error in reporting transactions and that sort of thing, because it's not completely transparent. And it's not easily completely transparent as well. Whereas Bitcoin has to operate under a certain set of rules. Everyone knows those rules. It can't be made fraudulent. It can't be broken. It's truly decentralized. There's no one organization behind Bitcoin. The guy, Satoshi, whatever his name was, created the software, created Bitcoin, and then kind of let it out to the world, right? But there aren't many other cryptos like that, and Bitcoin's the only big crypto like that. So that's why I've been buying a bit of Bitcoin, but even I've been buying Ripple as well. If you see the X, you see me talking about Ripple a bit here and there. Ripple's been doing quite well recently. It's cheap compared to price per unit. So if you wanted to buy Bitcoin, you need 90 grand. If you wanted to buy one Ethereum, one Ripple, you need a couple quid. So it's a bit different. I've been buying some Ripple, buying a bit of Bitcoin as well here and there. Some fees on them. That's why I've stayed away from Ethereum as well, because from what I hear, the fees on Ethereum are just insane. And I would buy Ethereum. I do like Ethereum for what it is, but it's got a lot of utility, and there's a lot of other cryptos that are off Ethereum chains, which is why I was buying up. The same reason why I want to buy Ethereum is the same reason why I did previously buy BNB. because it's got a lot of utility in the crypto world, and there's so many cryptos that are reliant on being on the BNB smart chain or the BNB chain. So as long as that's the case, BNB is always going to have, you know, market share. It's always going to have utility in the market. Obviously, Ripple's, you know, it feels like it's just becoming more and more of a household name now. Obviously, Ripple released their own stablecoin, Ripple USD, which, if I could stake for a higher percentage, I would probably consider buying, because that's what I do with stablecoins. With stablecoins, I'll buy however many that I need, like a USDC or USDT, buy that, stake it or whatever, the highest rate that's going. Crypto.com did previously have one for 15% APR if you lock it in for 3 months. They've now dropped that down to 5% again, so when my 3 months are up with the USDC, I'll see what I'll do, if I want to restake it or move it out of Crypto.com and put it somewhere else and do it on, stake it like that and make some money. But yeah, crypto is an interesting market space at this moment. You've got the Trump coin, which had done some serious numbers, and kind of one I'm kind of annoyed at that Trump has made, because it's a crypto that, as far as I know, hasn't really got any utility. And maybe they'll announce some things for it, but it's a crypto. It's not even an NFT. At least an NFT, you can be like, oh, well, we've got this, so you're going to get access to this and this. But crypto, you don't really see that. So, apart from the vibes, I don't really see what other use there would be for someone to put their money into Trump coin, apart from it being quite cheap as well. I think. Don't quote me on that. I think it's quite cheap, but might not be now, because it would have gone up quite a bit. But yeah, Trump coin, and Trump's made loads of money from that. And the thing is, where Trump is still such a public figure, he won't allow it to be like a pump and dump. So that in my opinion does kind of give you a bit of safety net around it, because you know it's not a typical meme coin pump and dump. It's going to shoot up, and if you don't sell at the top, you're just going to get, done dirty at the bottom. I imagine Trump has more self-respect for himself than to let that happen. And if he gets to a point where it's kind of dipping and looking like a really terrible investment for investors, he might even sort of start buying the coin up to increase liquidity. Not increase liquidity, like reduce the amount of available supply, so sort of raise the value like that. But we'll see, but other than that, I don't think there is any utility in the actual Trump coin, so whatever. But I saw that coin added 20 billion onto Trump's net worth, which is insane. That is insane that a Trump coin, meme coin, can do that. Is able to make you 20 billion in such a short period of time. It's a cheat code, bro. I'm telling you, bro, this crypto stuff is a cheat code. And that's why I'm buying Bitcoin and Ripple, because one day, bro. One day. But yeah, what else am I going to talk about? Let's look at the news. Well, there's some news that Sainsburys is going to cut 3,000 jobs and shut down the cafes. Which is, interesting. I would say it's interesting to hear, but it's not good to hear, because, British people, they're going to be losing jobs. Yes, Sainsbury's has announced it will cut 3,000 jobs as it shut down its remaining cafes and closes its patisserie and pizza counters. Wow. Yeah. And then Sainsbury's are saying they're aiming to simplify the business. Well, I hear that, to be fair. Because you can grow too fast too quickly. But Sainsbury's, they're a huge company in the UK. I would have expected them to, if they're bolting in these extra services to their shops, they should be able to achieve, pretty great economies of scale on that. If they're rolling it out to across, thousands of locations nationwide. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And they plan to make a 20% reduction in senior management roles. Wow. Very interesting. So they're going to try and cut out some middle management and cut make some savings like that. I mean, that's where most of their money's going to be going to be fair. Because you're not paying the floor staff on the shops a great deal of money. You know, but you're going to be paying these senior management office role jobs. You're paying them a lot of money, so cutting that by 20%. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that they're not just shutting down like the staff in like the cafes and pizza counters and stuff like that, because it's not going to be their fault that Sainsbury's are in the position they're in. You know, the fault Sainsbury's position they're in is due to senior management and external factors as well. But yeah. Yeah. And also Morrison's have said that they claim to axe over 200 office-based jobs. Wow. So the economy's really crunching. You know, a friend of mine got made redundant. He works for another company, doesn't work for a supermarket, but that does kind of go to show how hard it is in the UK economy, where, you know, inflation and then people having less money to spend, it's going to tighten the purse strings, and ultimately it's going to result in people spending less money and these businesses making less money, which means they can pay out less money. It for the most part, in theory, the UK economy is very circular, as should every economy be, really. The worst sort of economies you want is where money is made in one country and sent out of the country. Really what you want is a British person buying stuff at a British business that pays British employees that then go out and buy British... You know what I mean? It's a circular thing that should keep going and going and going, and then I suppose eventually through inflation and government taxation, these circles get smaller and smaller and smaller because people are making less money. I mean, in the UK's case, wage growth has basically been stagnant for the past, I think, 20 years, 10, 15 years, maybe 20 years. So, naturally, and taxes have gone up, but wages haven't. So, naturally, those circles that make up the economy, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And we're sort of seeing that here where big organisations like Sainsburys, some of the biggest companies in the country, are announcing they have to cut jobs. So, very interesting news to hear that, but we'll see if this is going to be, if this is sort of the first of many type of deal with Sainsbury's, where you're going to see Sainsbury's cut some staff. I've just said Morrison's going to cut some staff. Who knows about so who knows if other companies are going to start making cuts, or who knows if this is going to be, you know, this is going to be the first of many cuts for Sainsbury's. You know, maybe next year they announce they cut another 1,000, and then the year after another 1,500, until it gets to a point where their wage bill is so low, they're able to be competitive with their pricing and still maximize profit. So we'll see. Yeah, ending on a sad note with that one, I guess. Because, yeah, thinking about people maybe losing their jobs. I mean, some people will definitely be losing their jobs, but that's not what we like to see here at the Seth Solo Side Quest or at the Lonely Stoner podcast. But I think that was going to be a super short one for me today. Smoked a couple times, so pretty hard doing this, which is what it is. But I've been Seth from the Seth Solo Side Quest, been episode 9, and I'm out. Peace.